Hello, this is to help people learn how to put together their saxophone, which this year is just Madeline. So here we go. All right, saxophone case on a sturdy surface or on the ground because we want it to make sure that there's little chance of falling as possible. All right, with your case, since it's not a school district owned, you'll have the same kind of circumstance as me, in which the word top is not written on yours. For me, I have the name or brand of the instrument on the top, so that's how I kind of know it's the top. I undo my latches, and saxophone. Go down. Saxophone. Two things to start off with. One, I need to wet my reed. Two, I need to put on my neck strap. The neck straps that I like the most are padded. It keeps them nice and comfortable. So this is what I suggest. Now since I have my reed working on getting wet and my neck strap on, I can work on putting together the rest of my saxophone. The first thing that we do, in my opinion, is assemble the neck joint with the mouthpiece. Then I have you put it back down in that empty space in your case. Then get the saxophone out, the body, and then put everything together. I think that's the easiest way to do it, so that's how I teach it. So first I need my neck joint and my mouthpiece. I have a mouthpiece cap. I will try to get you one just in case your instrument does not have one. Sometimes they're metal, sometimes they're plastic. To put the mouthpiece onto the neck joint, I like to do little twists without the ligature on it. For now, just push it on as good as you can, and then I will help you adjust it to where it needs to go and even give you some cork grease just in case it needs to go on more or it's not going on easily. Okay? Then, reed. So, I know you watched me do the clarinet part of it. Yours is very similar, if not exactly the same. We'll see what kind of equipment you have just in case I need to make some small adjustments. But, just like them, I put the ligature on. I make sure it's nice and loose so it can wiggle up and down. Grab the reed somewhere about in the middle. Find that space in between the reed and the mouthpiece and slide the reed in. Flat side goes against the mouthpiece. The side with the swoosh, ooh, goodness. The side with the swoosh goes toward you. The screws go toward you, and the little thing that you twist always goes to the right. So for me, it's going to my right. Push up, flat part away, slide between the ligature and the mouthpiece. Boop, boop, boop. Now, I need to line it up. I'm going to show you how it lines up without the ligature real quick so you can see it very clearly. There are ridges, like flat parts, on the mouthpiece, and then there's the curve at the top. So when I line it up, I'm going to try to line it up as close as I can to the top and side to side. Very little black showing at the top, lined up from side to side. With the ligature on but not tightened, kind of looks like this. Okay, now I'm going to line up my ligature underneath the swoosh. I usually find where it's been filed and where it's a little bit less, it's kind of like polished. Maybe there's some plastic on it. And I aim right below there. So scooch, 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 but out. Then I tighten it so it's tight enough that I can't turn it easily anymore. And then I loosen it just a touch. Excuse me, my nose is itching. So now since I have my neck joint assembled with the reed and the mouthpiece and the ligature, I'm going to put my mouthpiece cap back on to protect my reed because I want to be able to keep this looking nice as long as I can. At first you might break some reeds, that's kind of normal, but we still want to protect it for future when you are all used to it and you can just put stuff on really easily. I'm now going to put my neck joint that's all assembled, mouthpiece cap, reeds underneath there, in this spare space in my case to keep it safe. And I will now use both of my hands. I'm going to put this down to grab the saxophone, but I do want to show you, I usually do one hand right here, and then I'll use my other hand to gently get up kind of right there. So one hand here, other hand over there. It's definitely a two-handed things. Two-handed. Two-handed. See? Two-handed. My latch to my neck strap should go in the hole. For right now, we kind of want to make sure it's not the loosest it can be, but it's not the tightest. So somewhat in the middle, and then I'll teach you how to adjust it as we keep learning. So neck strap on, connected to the saxophone. Get this part back. You're going to use tiny twists to put this into there. You may need to loosen this little section thing right here. We'll see when it comes to your instrument. I put it in and I use teeny tiny twists. So it goes all the way down as far as it'll go. Then I'm going to take my neck strap off just to show you this. All right, there's a little bit of a ridge here that reinforces the neck. I like to line up that little plasticky bit right here with that ridge. After it's lined up, I tighten it. We don't want to tighten it too hard. It does not need to be hard. It just needs to not be able to move back and forth. So don't just put out. Now, when you start playing, I'm going to be watching you to see where you need to hold your saxophone. Some people hold their saxophone in the middle, like I do. That happens. I need some cork grease. Some people hold it in the middle. Some people end up holding it to the side. Like that. It depends on what works best for you. I'm going to help you with what works best for you. I like when people play it in the middle, but if you are shorter, you might need to play it to the side because you might not be able to reach your hands in correctly, and I don't want you to be uncomfortable or playing with incorrect technique. All right, we're going to work on disassembling the saxophone. In the similar order that we did before, I'll put my mouthpiece cap on. Then I'm first going to take off the neck joint and place it in that same spot, empty spot where you can put all of your extra parts, your swabs, your cleaning things, your extra reeds. Put that all in there. Then I'm going to take the saxophone, unhook, and use two hands to put it back in the case. As you examine your case, it will be obvious about how your saxophone goes in it. There will be indentations for different parts to go in. So please make sure you have it lined up because we don't want to force anything in. It should lay flat. Sometimes when it's not laying flat, there's something in there underneath it, like a reed case or something, or papers. Papers should not go in that part of the case. That's what this part is for. Next, we'll get this part back. Go ahead and remove the reed. And I just let it hang out in my mouth while I take apart the rest. Neck back in its slot. Mouthpiece and ligature. Tighten it very, very little, just so it doesn't like bounce around all over the place. Then slide the cap on top. And then it should go back in the case. Reed. I mentioned to the clarinets, sometimes you have a little bit of extra saliva, usually on the back of your reed. That's the best way to get it out. If you desperately want to, you can take it to your pants and do this. But your pants probably have different germs than your mouth. Your mouth has, everything has germs, let's be real. But if you just pull it off in your mouth, it's the same germs that were already in there, so you're not accumulating more. So I definitely suggest to get anything loose out of there, and then you carefully slide it back in the case. Your cases are likely to have something where you slide it in down this way. Be really careful not to push it down so far that you can't grab it. Okay? I will make sure that I demonstrate that a lot in class, because the worst thing is to get your reed stuck. We can get it out, but it's better to just push it in slightly so you can still have a grasp. With me, I grab mine from the side. That's the reeds that I like. Put my reed away in the spare spot, and then I double check that everything is in correctly. Ooh, my neck strap, that would be a good idea. Nothing hanging over the side, nothing sticking out. When I close my case, I want to make sure that it closes without like pressure having to be put on it, which it looks like it's fine. The latch goes down easily, indicating that the case is closing correctly. Wow, a tongue twister. And I can do all of my locks. Thank you for reviewing with me about how to put together your saxophone.